Hey y'all, welcome back, welcome back. It's your girl, BrittReacts, and today we are reacting to Archie Bunker on gun control. Let's see what he has to say.
Say, all right?
This terrible virus that has infected the country.
What'd I tell you?
There has been much talk about permissive society. Well, this is an evil that we have permitted for too long.
Don't tell me the big
This
mouth
nation
to talk the
believes
sense
that
could
something
change.
must be done now. The state must be willing to buy back every gun in private hands.
What?
He's talking about guns.
Archie,
Hell, his gun's got to do with VD.
Will you listen to the man?
only by enforcing even tougher gun laws can the tide of violence and death be halted. Guns must go before more of them go off.
Well, that's where you're going, buddy.
Guns
boy.
must be
Off.
regulated.
It is so, first of all, the whole VD thing, like when he first started talking about like the virus, I was like, oh my gosh, has history repeated itself? But it is really crazy to me the more I watch clips from this show, how nothing has changed as far as the topics that are being spoken on and the controversy or the sides of it all. You know what I mean? Like nothing has changed. We're still in this same argument today, still having two very polarized point of views today. And that is like, I don't know why it's so mind blowing to me, because it shouldn't be. Because I think I know that's the truth, but it's heartbreaking to know that like all of this, it's like we've been on this hamster wheel and there's been no change either way. I'm not here to take sides. I'm not here to push my side. I'm not here to make anyone believe what I believe. I'm just saying to you that on either front, nothing has changed. The news is still having the same conversation. People are still having the same conversations. And that to me is just like, what was this, the 70s? It is 2024 as of yesterday, which is mind blowing. And we are still turning on the news to the same conversations. That doesn't blow your mind?
Go before more of them go off.
Well, that's where you're going, buddy.
Guns
boy.
must be
Off.
regulated.
Off.
He's a fairy like all them gun control guys.
I'm for gun control.
Tell it to her. Maybe she get the marriage and know.
Archie, what do guns have to do with maleness?
What do guns have to do with maleness? Duke Wayne, buddy.
What?
Clint Westwood there, buddy.
What are you talking about?
Harry Cooper,
Get
Sergeant
outta
York.
here.
I could go on and on and on, but it do no good because talking to you is like casting players into wine.
Casting what into wine? All right, so Archie's argument is not that, you know, everyone should have the right to bear arms, but it is hand in hand with manliness, which maybe a lot of people feel that way. I don't know. I think, this is my opinion, you guys can let me know in the comments, I think the biggest challenge is the word control. If you tell anyone you want to control something that belongs to them, you are going to get pushback, right? And so I think maybe now that's why you hear more and more the word reform. They just want to reform the policies. They just want to change them a little bit, because I think the word control immediately puts people on defense. People are like, you want to control what? My right to bear what? And so that's my opinion though. I don't know. I don't know. Don't come over here and yell at me. You're more than welcome to put your opinion in the comments as long as it's respectful and kind. But that is like what I think about it. But I think it's funny that Archie's argument is like, no, it's all about being a man. Clint Eastwood. And I don't even know if he said Clint Eastwood, but he starts rattling off all these men and their, you know, pows.
Tell that the old lady hijinking down the street, no guns. She'd have been glad to have a rod when them two burglars bust in on her last week, I mean.
Archie, how do you expect an 88-year-old woman to go around carrying a gun?
No, she can carry it in her elastic stocking next to a very close friend. All I know.
She can carry it in her elastic stocking in her very close grave. Is that this man is... I say this every time I watch a clip, is that I just would love to have been in the same room as the writers for this show. It's genius. It really is genius how they can fuse civil political issues into a humorous show in the most angry, chip on his shoulder, aggressive character. It's genius.
Stocking next to a very close friend.
Next to a very close friend.
All I know is as an American, it's my right to pack a rod.
Bull!
What do you mean, bull to the Constitution?
It doesn't say that in the Constitution. I'll prove it to you. I got a copy of it here in my history book.
It doesn't?
It's right there in your Second Amendment.
Oh, no, Archie. That's the one that says thou shalt not make any graven image.
What?
That ain't the Constitution either. What you says the Gettysburg Address.
I'll prove to you. You don't know what you're talking about.
You just look it up. All I know is it's not given right as an American to have a gun in the house.
It is not, Archie. The Supreme Court ruled on that as far back as 1939.
What the Supreme Court says ain't got nothing to do with the law.
I think I've understood now. This is his son-in-law. His son-in-law is going to give him a brain aneurysm. He is always stressing him out. He's so angry. I mean, he's like blowing steam out of his ears. He's aggravated. You know what this dynamic reminds me of? This dynamic reminds me of on the Cosby Show. Not Denise, the oldest daughter, her husband and Mrs. Huxtable were always going at it because he had a very like patriarchal point of view, and he believed women belonged in the kitchen, and he was always putting his foot in his mouth because she was like a working doctor or a lawyer. I think she was a lawyer and he was a doctor. This is what that dynamic reminds me of.
What the Supreme Court says ain't got nothing to do with the law.
He went all the way to the back of the book for the Second Amendment.
All right, here it is. Amendment 2. I'll read it to you.
I'll read nothing. I can read myself. What does it say? Here. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Read that.
Wait a second. You didn't read all of it.
I read it all.
You did not. Look. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A militia, Arch. That's what it says right there.
Listen, buddy, I don't pay no attention to no
Wait, is that true? I don't pretend to know anything about like this subject. I know enough, but not a lot. Is that true though? Is that what it says? Is it misinterpreted, do you think? I don't know. I don't have a gun in this fight because I don't know. So I'm not, I think a lot of times people speak on things and don't want to admit that they don't know. I'm admitting it. I'm raising my hand. I don't know enough to really have a point of view. I don't think. I'm learning if this is true or not. Let me know in the comments if that's what it says. If you're wondering what my stance is on the matter, I strictly stand on the matter of no one who wants to do harm to other people, who wants to do wrong with their weapons, should own a weapon. And that's where I stand on it. So like, that's it. If you have it to protect yourself, if you have it for, I know there are recreational sports and these people keep their arms locked up in safe places and they only take them out to go out and do things like hunting and things like that. If that's your business, that's your business. But if you are purchasing something to go out and cause harm to other people, then we gotta do something about it. That's my stance. And I'll stand on that. This is interesting though. I'm interested to read your comments on the Constitution and the Second Amendment, because I know that this is the argument is this amendment is like, I have the right to bear arms. But I don't know the son-in-law's name, but he is arguing that it's just saying like a militia. I don't know if I'm allowed to say any of these words on YouTube. If this video is never sees the light of day, it's because I said a lot of hot topic words and YouTube took it down.
Constitution and them pink old books of yours.
Pink old books.
Did you know that 65% of the people murdered in the last 10 years were killed by handguns?
Would it make you feel any better, little girl, if they was pushed out of windows?
Wow, that's convoluted logic.
Yes, and that's the kind of straight thinking I'm trying to put across. I hate that jerk on TV.
Oh, I get it. When you thought he was talking about VD and a permissive society, he was smart, huh? You find out he's talking about gun control, he's a jerk?
That's right, and I'm going to prove it to you. How many people in this U.S. of A. would like to have guns?
Too many, thousands.
But How many people would like to have VD?
The way this man will reach, and I mean reach for the stars to make a point. This man, the convoluted thinking is hilarious. But like, this is the way a lot of people think, and a lot of people fight for their argument. And it just is like, is he wrong? I don't know. That was a funny point to make. It's like, how many people want pow pows and how many people want VD? You tell me. Who heard the doorbell? Because I didn't.
Come in.
Oh, no thanks, Mrs. Bunker. I mean, I don't want to disturb your quiet evening at home. Mom just asked me to...
The subtle shade on this show, the sarcasm, like, it's so shady. I don't want to interrupt your quiet. He probably heard them screaming all the way down down the street. The comedy on this show is golden. We need more of this in life.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Come on in. We're having a discussion. I want to ask you something. Get out of the way, Edith.
Oh, I gotta go. Sorry.
Edith.
It'll only take a minute. Come on now. Here's a guy who's sure to agree with me. Lionel, what do your people think about guns?
Your people.
Well, it depends on who's holding them.
And that's all I'm saying. And I don't think that's my people. I think that is a lot of people's. It's like, it depends on who has the pow pow in their hand. Like, who has it? Because it's all about the intention of why they're holding it and where they're pointing it and what they plan on doing with it. You know? This is such a good, I love that they brought in a black man. One, to show you Archie's kind of stance on the black community, but also the black community stance, or a black male stance. I think, again, this is such a smart show in the way that they give you many perspectives. You have a liberal perspective, you have a conservative perspective, you have a white perspective, you have a black perspective, you have a male perspective, you have a female perspective. You have all of these perspectives on a show, on TV, that I think otherwise a lot of people would have gone on in their lives never knowing any perspective other than their own. And they do it in a funny, light way. Genius. This is the type of TV that changes the world. I said what I said. I said what I said.
Well, it depends on who's holding them.
Daddy, how can you be against gun control with all the assassinations? Look at it, the Kennedys and Martin Luther King. And what about the shooting of Governor Wallace?
I'm saying, maybe Governor Wallace wouldn't have got shot if he had a rod in his midst.
He calls it a rod.
What? Because the governor was there. He could have shot first.
Archie, what would he be doing walking around in a crowd with a gun?
What was the other bum doing in the crowd with a gun?
Ridiculous, Archie. You're talking about a human being who may be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
Yes, and if that human being had a rod, then the other human being would be in a wheelchair.
Archie is standing 10 toes down in this argument, and he's gotta fight in it. I'm not gonna hold you. His whole thing is protection. Manliness and protection. And again, if those are your intentions, well, not the manliness part. I don't think holding a rod, as he calls it, makes you a man. But if your intentions are to protect yourself in situations from people who are holding them for the wrong reason, then I understand. I understand. I said what I said. Again, I think the word control is really what triggers the people who are really against it. And if everyone could sit in a room and really have a conversation. Even this is, I think, a forward-moving conversation. I don't know, Archie's kind of got his feet in the mud. But I just think, again, the perspectives, maybe we could create some change and some healing in this nation, in our nation especially. I think we have a lot of hurt and damage surrounding this topic. Anyway, Archie, you're one of a kind, my guy. I really enjoy this show, and I need to watch more full episodes. This is a good one. Sound off in the comments. Again, be kind. We are all entitled to our opinions. But on this channel, kindness is not debatable. It's a must. All right? Go and have the day you deserve. Peace.